How hard can it be? Microsegmentation with Cisco Secure Workload. Now this time, risk reduction. We're going to restrict production, accessing test, and vice versa. And we're going to allow access to some shared services from the test environment, specifically time services. Now let's go to agents. We'll go to agent list. Now these two workloads are two that we're going to test with. P1 equals a production system and T1 equals a test system. Let's go ahead and drill into one of the workloads. We can see some of the labels that are assigned, and you can see the top one there for production. That's the one we're going to use to say production can't communicate with test and vice versa. We're going to do it both directions. And again, this removes tremendous amount of risk in an organization. So we're going to go down to web services, and we can see that we've got a couple of production systems and a test system. But if we go a little bit deeper, we can see retail. Again, we still see those three nodes together. When we go down one more level, we see production only has the production systems and test has only the test systems. Now I'm just going to double check that web services is working before we reduce risk. Again, we don't want to break anything. Now let's go ahead and see if we can log into production web services and see what access we have to the test web services environment. So can we ping it? Absolutely. Now we don't want this to take place. Can we SSH into a test system? Yes, we can. Now we probably don't want this in any environment, regardless if it's test to production or production to production. But in this case, we're going to reduce the risk by restricting production and test from communicating. We can see that Callie is the user, and we can see the operating system details here as well. We're going to log out. We'll clear this out. And let's go ahead and build in our controls. Watch how fast this is. We'll go to segmentation. We'll create a brand new workspace. This is the container in which that we can build our policy, and then we enforce it based on the scope we apply it to. In this case, we're going to define the policy at the data center level and ensure that all of the child scopes have this inherited. We don't care where the production and test systems might be in the scope tree. We just want to make sure that they cannot communicate outside of that one exception of shared services for time. Now let's go ahead and add our policies here. Now this is risk reduction. We don't care about a catch-all deny. We'll address that in a minute, but let's go ahead and define our consumer. In this case, we're going to create a filter to define our test systems as well as our production systems. Here, production, we'll go ahead and make our query. We can see app environment equals production. We can see 4 inventory items show up. We'll save that off, and we'll go ahead and create another one for test. Let's create that filter here. Very much the same thing. And remember, the nomenclature for the labels and the tags can be anything that you want. You can define them yourselves. You can consume them in AWS and GCP, VMware, ServiceNow, multiple different ways that you can get labels into the platform. So basically here, again, based on priority, deny, production to test. I'm going to do it the other way as well. We'll deny, priority 90, and now we already have those objects in place. And we'll go ahead and hit any, and we'll add that rule. Now, if we deployed that, things could break. So let's go ahead and make sure that we add our exception to the shared services. So we want tests to be able to communicate with those NTP servers. Now we'll go ahead and create a filter called NTP. And in this case, we're going to use application type equals time services. Again, this is just a label that I created in the system itself. We've got 2 NTP servers available to us. And again, it's dynamic. So if more NTP servers come online or more test servers come online, this will automatically be in play. And remember, this is an allow UDP 123. Now, ideally, we want a policy to deny all at the end. But in this case, we are looking to remove risk while leaving the environment intact. We will move to deny all when we're driving towards zero trust, but we're going to use application dependency mapping to help us build the policies using AI and machine learning. That will be in a later video. So go ahead and change this to allow. Let's go ahead and go to enforcement. Enforce policy. Now here you could do policy analysis, but because it's a catch-all, allow, the risk is very, very low here. Again, review your policy. If you're happy with the rule set, go ahead and hit next. Here are the workloads that are going to be impacted by the policy itself. Give a reason, go ahead and accept and start the enforcement. Now, 30 to 90 seconds or so, that policy will be enforced, and we'll go ahead and check whether or not we're driving towards the outcomes we expect. We can see enforcement status, it's in place. So this suggests the policy is in play. We can also go to the workload, we can go to agents, we can go to agent list, and we can pick one of the workloads and have a quick peek here to see whether or not that policy is enforced. We can see that the agent has been enabled for enforcement. And now we go to concrete policies. And look at that. We see 2 drop rules in play. Now it's testing time. Did we break the app? Nope. Look at that. Refresh. Refresh. They both came up. So that's good. We didn't break anything. But now let's test it. Can we ping it? Absolutely not. Production to T1, can't get to. Can I curl it? Nope. Now, what about production to production? Now, this should be allowed. And look at that. I can curl from one system to another. Now, in the real world, you're probably going to limit that as well. Now, if I SSH to test 1 from production, I can't do it. No more lateral movement between production and test. Now, let's just check one more time from a production system to a production system. And you can see here, I'm able to do so. So no lateral movement between the production environment and the test environment and vice versa. That's pretty powerful capability. All right, let's check for rejected flows. And we can see P1 to T1 was rejected using ICMP. Now P1 to T1 using curl on 80 was also rejected. And P1 to T1 using SSH was also rejected. Now let's go ahead and look at P1 concrete policies. We can see that the 2 policies are in place, and very quickly we can see that we have had some denied traffic as well. Pretty powerful way to reduce risk very easily within an environment.